Today on Inquirer, Mayon Volcano's intensified unrest continues. More than 15,000 individuals evacuated in Albay. President Marcos' trip to South Cotabato delayed due to minor technical issues in flight. Islamic State-linked terrorist leader killed in Lanao del Sur. And woman declared dead wakes up inside her coffin in Ecuador.
As of 14 June 2023, a total of 9,571 families or 37,231 persons in 26 barangays were affected, of which 4,417 families or 15,502 persons are currently staying inside evacuation centers, while 185 families, 659 persons are staying outside evacuation centers. These barangays are located in the municipalities of Camalig, Ligao, Daraga, Ginubatan, Malilipot, and Tabaco. Next slide. So shown is the breakdown, although it is not clear, Mr. President, of the affected population and data on inside and outside evacuation centers, as reported by DSWD Disaster Response Operations Monitoring and Information Center on 14 June 2023. And these are the number of...
You're seeing on your screens the ongoing briefing in Albay to discuss Mayon Volcano's continued intensified unrest. President Bongbong Marcos is currently there in Albay and is heading this ongoing briefing. Prior to this, the President joined an aerial inspection of Mayon and its vicinity. He also inspected an evacuation center in Ginubatan town.
And Tabaco in Albay.
The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology records an increase in the number of volcanic earthquakes and rockfall events in Mayon Volcano. Phivolcs says there were 7 volcanic earthquakes and 309 rockfall events recorded in Mayon from 5 a.m. on Tuesday, June 13 until 5 a.m. on Wednesday, June 14. On the other hand, the sulfur dioxide flux decreased to 149 tons a day. Phivolcs earlier classified Mayon Volcano under Alert Level 3, which means hazardous eruption is possible within weeks or even days. In an interview with Inc. Today on Tuesday, state seismologists say the unrest in Mayon Volcano could last for a few months based on their observations.
There have been instances of past eruptions similar to this, where the volcano is quietly effusing lava and this activity lasted for months. Okay. So we might get that kind of activity.
Around 15,000 people who fled their homes around the rumbling Mayon Volcano in Albay may have to remain in temporary shelters for months. The Albay Public Safety and Emergency Management Office says a total of 4,286 families or 15,241 people are staying in evacuation centers as of June 13, Tuesday. They are housed in 14 public schools, 10 local government-owned evacuation centers, and other buildings in the cities of Ligao and Tabaco, as well as towns of Santo Domingo, Malilipot, Ginubatan, Camalig, and Daraga. Albay Public Safety and Emergency Management Officer in charge, Eugene Escobar, says the provincial government is looking at a 90-day evacuation. Meanwhile, Albay Representative Joey Salceda appeals for patience and stamina from government agencies extending pre-disaster relief and evacuation support, noting that the wait for an actual eruption could take weeks or months. Social Welfare Secretary Rex Gatchalian says President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. ordered the Department of Social Welfare and Development to look into giving out cash assistance to affected families besides family food packs. President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. declares June 28 a regular holiday in observance of Eid'l Adha, or the Feast of Sacrifice. Marcos makes the declaration through Proclamation number 258, which is published on the official gazette. The President makes the declaration following the recommendation of the National Commission on Muslim Filipinos. The plane that was supposed to fly President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to South Cotabato had minor technical issues, delaying his arrival in the province. Philippine Air Force spokesperson Colonel Maria Consuelo Castillo says the G280 command and control aircraft carrying Marcos had to return to the Villamor Air Base in Pasay City due to a minor technical issue on the aircraft's flaps operations. Marcos had to board another aircraft. Despite the issues encountered, Marcos is able to attend the launch of the South Cotabato Consolidated Rice Production and Mechanization Program in the municipality of Banga, where the President apologized for the delays. The elusive leader of Islamic State-linked Dawla Islamiyah was slain in a clash with government forces in Lanao del Sur. Deputy Commander of the Philippine Army's 103rd Infantry Brigade, Colonel Billy De La Rosa, says Abu Zakaria was killed in downtown Marawi City. 2 weeks ago, Abu Zakaria caused a stir in Marogong town by threatening to put bombs on all its roads. This was to avenge the arrest of his 4 young foot soldiers by Moro Islamic Liberation Front members, who then turned them over to the army. The legal counsel of suspended Negros Oriental 3rd District Representative Arnolfo Teves Jr. objects to Justice Secretary Jesus Crispin Remulla's claim that the preliminary investigations on the alleged killing of Negros Oriental Governor Roel Degamo did not include a defense panel. Attorney Ferdinand Topacio says the respondents' counsels were present during the hearings at the level of the prosecutors. Topacio's response comes after Remulla's warning for Teves' lawyers to take the legal steps seriously. According to Remulla, the defense counsels failed to appear during the preliminary investigation on June 13, Tuesday. But Topacio counters Remulla, saying the Justice Secretary was, quote, waxing nonsense when he issued a so-called warning. Topacio says he could show proof of the presence of Teves' lawyers in the deliberations. The preliminary investigation on the Degamo case was reset to June 27. A motorcycle rider dies in a hit-and-run incident along EDSA. MMDA Acting Chairman Attorney Don Artes says the motorcycle rider was hit by a white sports utility vehicle and ran over by a tanker while traversing along the EDSA Shaw Boulevard Tunnel past 5 a.m. on Wednesday, June 14. Based on the MMDA monitoring, the rider and the SUV driver were both traversing the EDSA bus carousel lane when the incident happened. The tanker was driving beside the bus lane. Artes condoles with the family of the rider while reminding motorists and motorcycle riders to stay out of the EDSA bus carousel lane. Artes says the EDSA bus carousel lane remains exclusive for passenger buses, ambulances, and the marked government vehicles responding to emergencies. A total of 50 police personnel, including high-ranking officials, are named respondents in the criminal complaint filed before the Office of the Ombudsman for their involvement in the controversial anti-drug operation last year that led to the seizure of 990 kilos of shabu worth 6.7 billion pesos. According to Interior Secretary Benhur Abalos, the Philippine National Police and the National Police Commission filed a complaint against the 50 personnel on June 9. Abalos says the complaint stemmed from violation of Republic Act No. 3019 or the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act and RA 9165 or the Comprehensive Dangerous and Drugs Act of 2002. The Interior Secretary adds that the police personnel were also found liable for falsification, perjury, false testimony, and malversation of public property. They were also charged with obstruction of justice. Abalos says they are optimistic about the developments on the case. The case is said to be aimed to weed out cops with drug links from the PNP and clean up the police organization's image. Aside from the criminal charges, Abalos says the NAPOLCOM is also finishing the administrative proceedings against 48 personnel. An elderly woman from Ecuador wakes up inside a coffin at her own funeral. According to a report, a video posted on Twitter shows 76-year-old Bella Montoya in her open coffin, breathing heavily while two men assist her. Her son, Gilbert Balberan, says she was hitting the box with her left hand after the 5-hour wake. Ecuador's health ministry says prior to the incident, Montoya was admitted to the hospital with a suspected stroke and went into cardiorespiratory arrest without responding to resuscitation maneuvers. This prompted the doctor on duty to declare her dead. Montoya's son says that they were also given a death certificate. The ministry says it had established a committee to investigate the incident and that it would supervise Montoya's care. Alamin naman natin ang mainit na balita sa mundo ng showbiz kasama si Irvin Santiago ng Bandera. Irvin?
Hi Neil at sa lahat ng mga kabandera natin all over the universe. Ito na nga ang latest Bandera Chika. Suportado ng mga fans at ng kanyang mga kaibigan sa mundo ng showbiz ang naging aksyon ng komedyanang si Pokwang laban sa kanyang dating living partner na si Lee O'Brien. Halos lahat ng mga nabasa naming comment sa social media pati na rin sa mga nakakausap naming mga nanay ay nagsabing tama lang daw na ipaglaban niya ang kanyang karapatan bilang babae at ina. Kinampihan din ng ilang celebrities at mga netizens ang pagpa-file ng Kapuso TV host comedian ng petition para sa deportation at pagkansela ng visa ng American actor. Naging top trending topic sa SOCMED ang pagpunta ni Pokey sa tanggapan ng Bureau of Immigration sa Maynila kahapon kasama ang kanyang abogadong si Ralph Kalinisan. Ipinost pa ng komedyana sa kanyang Instagram account ang ilang litrato na kuha habang isinasubmit nila ang mga kaulang dokumento para sa isinampan niyang petisyon sa immigration. Sabi ng komedyana hindi lang ito para sa kanyang sariling kapakanan kundi pati na rin sa anak niyang si Malia, sa mga kapwa niya kababaihan at para na rin sa bayan. Inirereklamo rin niya ang lahat ng ginawa umano sa kanya ni Lee kabilang na ang hindi pagsustento sa kanilang anak mula nang ipanganak ito. Bukod nga sa mga fans at social media followers ni Pokwang na nagpaabot ng pagsuporta sa kanya, may mga kaibigan din siya sa showbiz na nagparamdam ng pagmamahal. Kabilang na riyan ang celebrity mom na si Nadia Montenegro at ang kapwa niya komedyanang si Marisa Sanchez. Samantala, isang netizen naman ang nagsumbong kay Pokwang na may mga basher na ng oo-cry at nang lalait sa kanya sa Instagram account ni Lee. Sagot ni Pokwang sa kanya, ang mga epal at malilisyosong haters na ito ang susunod niyang kakasuhan. Ang tanong na lang, magtagumpay nga kaya si Pokwang sa pagpapatalsik sa Pilipinas sa tatay ng kanyang anak? Yan ang dapat nating abangan. At yan ang Bandera Chika natin today. Thanks, Neil.
Maraming salamat sa Irvin. Let's go back to the ongoing briefing right now in Albay. Let's see what's happening.
We have here Ambassador Mohammed Obaid Salem Al-Zabi. Thank you very much for the 55 tons of food items from your country. It's a big help to our province. And to all the other cabinet members, of course, Ariel Anapopeseno, the director of the OCD, has given us 3 water filtration units, because it's very important that we focus on sanitation, of course, health and water issues. Because I think with respect to food, medyo, Mr. President, okay na po tayo. So I'll just keep this very short. This will be my presentation. Okay, next slide, please. Of course, Mr. President, we want to achieve.
And these are the stories you need to know today. I'm Neil Mercado. Follow INQUIRER.net on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. For more stories, visit INQUIRER.net. Good evening.